Sanghvi is now back with us from Bangkok. I want to go across to him. Mr. Sanghvi, the allegation against you tonight is that you have taken dictation from a corporate lobbyist and carried in your piece counterpoint a verbatim repetition of what was dictated to you on the phone. How do you, sir, respond to this very serious allegation being leveled against you?
Well, thank you very much for inviting me for the show, and I'll be happy to answer that question. But before I answer that question, I think I owe your viewers some kind of explanation of why I am perched precariously on this balcony in Bangkok talking to you on a line that doesn't seem very good, where I can't always hear you. The truth is as follows. I've said many things about these tapes. I've been quoted as saying, and I stand by what I've said, that these tapes appear to be doctored. There seem to have been 5,000 conversations recorded by the government. Of them, about 100 seem to have been released. That's 2%. What's on the other 98%? Were they all journalists? Were there politicians on those tapes? Were there industrialists on those tapes? How come those tapes have not been released? I stand by all of that, but I want to make a different point today. I'm not saying, therefore, that there is no case for me to answer, that none of this has worried me, that I'm going to continue doing life exactly as I did before. I think this has been a great learning experience for me. It's been a reflective experience for me. Ultimately, all of us in journalism are what we are because of our viewers, because of our readers. An uproar like this, an uproar that suggests to our viewers, that suggests to our readers that perhaps what we write is not what we intend to write, it's what somebody else tells us to write, is something that goes to the heart of our credibility. It's something that makes me feel very sad. One of the first things I did when this uproar started was I voluntarily discontinued Counterpoint. Many of the other journalists involved in this have continued doing what they're doing, arguing, perhaps correctly, that the allegations have no substance. I'm not saying the allegations necessarily have substance, but it's not in me to do that. I believe it's time to show some response. I believe I should respond to what people are saying. I believe I can't go on as though nothing has happened, which is why I've withdrawn Counterpoint. I hope one day it'll be cleared. I hope soon it'll be back. Okay. Now, having said what I have said, let me go on to your question. Your question, I've just come in. I haven't heard the tape. No doubt you played the really damaging parts of the gas tape because that's what usually people do. It's a very, very long conversation. I'll give you a background if you'll give me a bit of indulgence to explain what's really happened. Sorry, I have to ask you this. Are you still there?
We are. Yeah? Please go on. We can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Okay. I was doing a column, and the column had always been intended on how fat cats and oligarchs are cornering India's resources. How India's resources spectrum, which has of course become a big issue now, gas, all of them have been cornered by people. Around this time, there was a court case involving the Ambani brothers. One judgment came in, a high court judgment. I called up Nira Radia, who represented one of the Ambanis. She gave me a long, detailed explanation. Many of the points she made, I thought made no sense. I took those points, and I took two in particular that seemed to me to make a lot of sense, to the other side, to the Anil Ambani side. Ultimately, if you read the article, and one of my problems in this is that nobody's actually read the journalism. They've only heard excerpts from the tapes, selective excerpts from the tapes. If you read the article, you'll find it's not about the Ambanis. Yes, the Ambanis are mentioned. Bits about the Ambanis do certainly feature in the thing. But the article makes a different point, which is that oligarchs should not control all of India's resources. One point that Nira Radia made certainly is represented in the piece, which is that a family MOU should not have precedence over India's interest. That's an unexceptional point. It wasn't something secret she was revealing to me. That was the official position of the Ambanis in the High Court case. My own view, that the gas belonged to the people of India, that all the resources belong to the people of India, is represented in the article. It's a view that the Supreme Court has also accepted. It's not a really unusual view that benefits only Mukesh Ambani. There is another part in the conversation, two parts of the conversation you should remember. One is when she accuses Amar Singh of doing some deal on behalf of Anil Ambani in return for supporting the government. I put that allegation to them. I have rejected that allegation. And if you listen to the article, I say I put this allegation to Anil's side, and I'm happy to accept the denials because I could never substantiate it.